day and nearly 30,000 views. It was me telling them to keep going. Don't give up. And that's the biggest. But I could have gave up when my mum passed away. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I fell away for the tarot. I fell away from everything. And then I started, something inside me. And I don't know what it was. I do believe it was my guides, and it was keep moving. And I kept moving, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, even though I wasn't getting many views. Now I'm getting thousands of views. Now I'm out there. Where's it going to stop? And I want to keep going. I want to see how far I can get.
This is Leadership Sound Bites. Real leaders, real moments, real growth.
See when I take classes. But I want us to smile in the beginning.
I do smile. Happy all the time.
Yeah, you're just smiling. You're smiling right now. Your eyes are smiling. I see it. See, there it is. Can't help it. But I don't want to have to go searching for them. So anyway, welcome to this week's episode of Leadership Soundbites with my super special guest, who I've had the chance to attend a couple of your live events that you've had on YouTube and everything. Is Christopher Moule. Christopher, where in the world do you live now? You're in Scotland, Ireland?
Yes, I'm born in Scotland. I've lived here all my life. I live in a little village called Douglas, and it's in the Central Belt. It's quite close to like Lanark, and that's where William Wallace got married and things like that.
Yeah, I want to visit that part of the world. Yeah. It's always intrigued me. And like I shared with you before we hit record, there's so much history there. We talk in the US like, oh, that's old or whatever, and it's like, no, it's just not even close.
I know that I know I've heard a lot of people say that, but there's lots of places in America that I want to visit just because of the sheer beauty. I mean, you've got some amazing places.
Yes. Well, Mount Shasta is one that the beauty's there, right?
Yes.
And I think that's an important call out. And Sedona is another amazing place of the beauty, energy vortex, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The thing I'm talking about would be the man-made structures.
Yes.
Right? That we're referring to as old.
Yes.
And they're just not. When you pull in the rest of the world on what old is of man-made structures, unless you go back to, more beyond, more modern, if you will, but I don't know how much of those survived. You are a YouTuber and a podcaster, and you've been doing it way longer than I have. And before we hit record, you told me that a live that you did yesterday went viral, which is freaking awesome. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I love that stuff. I love when things catch and then they're like a tumbleweed, or they're like the snowball coming down the hill, or they're like the roots that are just spreading out. It's a cool thing.
It's interesting because I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I've met some really interesting people over the years doing my podcast, and I mean, ghost hunters, for people that are into demonic attachments, and it never seemed to get the snowball effect. It just seemed to get maybe 100 views here or 200 views here. But lately, since I've been coming out my shell and becoming who I really am, it's starting to work, and it's starting to work for me.
Yeah. And so what you're talking about, because I'm going to connect us back to our individual leadership, is when we're freaking our authentic selves.
Yes.
We connect with people. It's when we're holding stuff back, right? That we're not our true selves in fear of, and I'm going to say this, and it may or may not resonate, is, well, if I'm all of me or who I truly am, then there's going to be people who don't like me.
Yes.
Okay. And it's not that they don't like you, they don't resonate with you. And that's okay. But you're able then to have really good connections with people who are your people.
Yeah. I mean, I've been through the wars. I've been through the wars in my life. I mean, when I first started out podcasting, it was hard. It was really hard. I know what it's like for you, but you're doing really well now, because I've been watching some of your stuff too. And I know that you've been watching I know you've watched my stuff with Sabrina and things like that. But it just takes time. And I think you do have to be authentic. You do have to be authentic to who I am. I mean, there's people that do it, but they don't tell you who they really are. And then their shows fade away into nothing, and you don't hear from them again. And I think if you become who you are and you're true to who you are, It works with the universe, kind of like helps you. And I've noticed that lately, the universe has been helping me a lot.
It's interesting what happens, yeah, because you're not holding stuff back. So you have a quote for us.
Yes, I do.
And I would love to hear more about you as well, and we can have a conversation around that. I'm a fan of what you do and who you are, and so your quote, sir.
You're only here for a short visit. You don't hurry, don't worry, and be sure to smell the flowers along the way. And it's basically, you're here. You are only here for a short time, and you have to enjoy life. And that's what I'm starting to do with my life now.
What have you done differently to do that?
Well, I've been on a kind of travel for that. I mean, I've been in the old lots. I used to do the ghost hunting, but before that, I used to do the UFO work with it, and it's quite interesting because you mentioned one of those mountains, one of those famous mountains in the United States. I think Mount Shasta.
Mount Shasta, and then Sedona.
Yeah. And I've interviewed quite a lot of people on that place, and I loved alien stuff. I really did like the alien stuff, but I always felt there was more to what I was, because I had experiences, and now I know it's the spiritual line for me. It's I'm into the paranormal, not really the paranormal, but more mediumship, more help people join with their loved ones, unite them again. It's something that makes you feel so much better to hear from a loved one that's on the other side.
It's an interesting thing, and it's a belief thing, right? A lot, and not everyone believes it. For me, I choose to believe it's possible and believe it's there. I mean, I've seen interesting signs of stuff when I've asked for help and guidance and all the stuff, like a red dragonfly that I just don't see dragonflies. And then, I was talking to my dad. I'm like, I had a very dear friend, Kenji, who had a massive heart attack, ended up in the hospital ICU, and Kenji was in Japan. Family friend from long ago. He's in his late 70s now. He's a Buddhist priest. And so my parents are both gone. And so I remember going out in the front yard and I'm like, Dad, you've got to help. I said, it's not his time. It's not his time. Right. Of course, my father's gone. And I look over on the birch tree in my front yard, and a red dragonfly landed on the birch tree. And I'm like, and I get my phone out and I took a picture, because I'm like, what is happening right now? I mean, I've never seen. And so then I went and looked to say, what's the meaning? And it's like rebirth and all the stuff for significance of like red dragonflies. I've never seen one since. And so because I wanted to share with Yoshiko, Kenji's wife, that I had seen this after I was asking to talk to Dad. After I talked to Dad, and I thought, I don't want to send her this thing that's like death, So I had to make sure, what did the Japanese feel about it, the significance. But it's like hope and rebirth and all that. And so I sent it to her. He's fine. He recovered.
Good. But
he's battling cancer right now, but different animal. But it's just interesting because it's comforting when those signs come through. And I was on a live with Sabrina. She was, I don't think it was with you, Christopher. I think it was on her own.
Yes.
And so she just went, and when I'm available, I always want to join to support, right? It's like, I'm here for you, because I know what it feels like not to have people in the comments, and then you're like, and she's like, oh, Michelle, I need to do a reading for you and stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's frogs. There's a lot of frogs. Well, without my virtual background, it's a huge frog picture in the background.
Yeah.
And the frog's got big glasses, because my father's favorite saying was, fine as frog's fur, when people would ask him how he felt. And so people go, but rich frogs don't have any fur. And he goes, but they do. And it's really fine. So for that to come through, and she said, but poor Sabrina at the time, she's like, this is so weird, Michelle. And they have bow ties on. I just laughed. I'm like, that would be Dad. That would be Dad.
Yeah.
But it's just comforting, especially when you have my husband for 19 years. And it's like, just to be able to reconnect. It's like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not by myself. They're still here. They're still watching over.
They're still here.
Like a hug.
Yeah. They're still here. And it's interesting you say about the dragonfly, because I'm becoming a shaman. And my main animal, spirit bug, if you want to call it, is the dragonfly.
Really?
And it's the dragonfly, the bumblebee, or the bee. And then I've got my other, it's not really an animal, it's a more like a dragon type of creature, because you've got that in the spirit world. You can have that type of thing. It's more like a serpent type of thing. It's like a protector that looks after me. But the dragonfly is my main one, because my mother passed away a year and a half ago from cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I get to talk to her quite a bit. It's okay, because of the line of work that I'm in. I've actually had quite a few visitations, and other medium friends have given me messages. But it was interesting because I was at the lake. There's a lake next to my house, beautiful lake, castle. Just putting it there and making you all jealous and stuff.
How many people can say that? There's a lake and a castle by my house.
And I was standing there, and it was like a couple of days after my mum's funeral, actually. And a blue dragonfly landed on my shoulder.
Oh, I love that. They just don't land like that.
No, they don't. The dragonflies they hunt flies and things, because that's what they eat. They eat like flies and things like that. They don't like other things moving about. And it's quite interesting. And blues are interesting because blue is my birthstone, which is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, blue's my birthstone, and it's a blue one. I mean, I've seen green ones, I've seen red ones. The red ones that you've talked about are very rare. You don't really see them much.
I didn't even know. I'm like, what is that? I mean, literally, I was shocked. I was just shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. They've all got different meanings, though. I know the colours have got different meanings. So it's maybe something you should look into, is the colour of the dragonfly, because there was another type of message along with that.
Yeah.
You see? But I love getting messages that way. Now it starts to happen all the time.
Yeah.
It's happening all the time with butterflies.
It's just, so it just feels good, right?
Just got to drink my water.
Be able to connect and, oh yeah, you're good.
My mineral water.
What?
It's my mineral water. I drink a lot of mineral water.
Oh, I drink water, but I don't know about mineral water. I don't know. Yeah. So your journey has been an interesting one, Christopher. And before we hit record, you were talking just about your history and French. I think aristocrat is the word, or and just where you came from on your whole last name. But it's like, when you look back at Christopher's journey, right, of where you were and where you are now, and I love the quote that you did, basically, frickin' people don't waste time. Live life to its fullest, embrace life, be open to what life has to do, and not be closed off with these myopic views. My words and not yours. But what's a lesson? What's a learning? What's for you, beyond just stepping into your authentic self? Because before you did that, who were you? How did you feel in your body, and where are you today?
Before all of this, I always knew I had a meaning. There was something. I mean, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, I mean, I've actually been interviewed by people because I can remember my birth.
Oh, interesting. I have a 5-year-old and stuff.
I can remember all the way back. I can remember all the way back to the very beginning. And if you want, it won't take me long, but if you want, I can tell you. I mean, I can remember walking down this like hallway, and it was weird because it was like there was other people with me, but I couldn't tell what they looked like.
Yeah.
And I've always had this memory since I was very young, and I could always see these people, but I couldn't see who they were. But there was also, it was like every person had like this big tall person behind them, and now I know who that was. They're angels. They're like guides.
Yeah.
So that's what that was, and I can remember stopping and looking back, and I could see lots of people waving me. You ever seen the film Is It Ghost, when he goes up and he sees all the people waving at him? Yeah. That's what it was like. That's what it was like, and people were waving at me.
Like, hey, go, you're gonna be good. Yeah.
And then I woke up in this weird room. It was like a box room, red tiles, I can remember it. Red tiles, green floor, and there was like 3 people in the room, 2 women and a man. And anyway, after that, I kind of jumped away for that to like maybe 5 or 6. And later on, when I was like maybe 14, 15-year-old, the doctor that actually delivered me had retired at
Really?
that time. Yeah, he lived in the same village, rural village, you know. And I was talking to him, I was telling him about the spiritual stuff and that. And I was telling him about, but and he went kind of white, and he says, "Tell me that again, what the room looked like." And he says, "Oh, it had red tiles and it had a kind of green floor." And he says, "That was the delivery room at the local hospital. It was knocked down like 6 months after. It was a very Victorian hospital that's been turned into flats now, but it was knocked down like 6 months after. You can still go there. And,
Really?
yeah, it's got Airbnb
Isn't
now
that
and all that."
crazy?
But and he says to me, he says the two that's there, that was the two nurses and me, and it had a green floor and it had red tiles on the wall.
What
And
a
it's
trip.
quite interesting. It's interesting because when I turned 14, I started to have really weird experiences. And it was like something clicked. It was really, really, really weird experiences I had. I mean, I would see things at the corner of my eye moving about. And I was like, what's that? And the house that I was in, the first house that we were in, it was haunted, but I never really seen anything. The house next door was really haunted because it still is today. I've known people that have had problems there. But then we come into this house, and I could always see this old man. I could always see this old man. He had like a, ever seen the film, is the series Peaky Blinders? That's how he dressed that's the way he dressed.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could always see him out the corner of my eye, and I was like, what's this? One night I woke up and I couldn't move. And he was standing in front of me. He was just looking at me like that, with a kind of smile. And later on, as I developed my psychic abilities, a good friend of mine, psychic, went, "You do know there's a man in that room with you, don't you?" And he looks, he's got the flat cap and he's got a pipe and he's got all the kind of stuff. And I'm like, I says, the house is haunted. He says, no, 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 no. He's been with you. He's been with you since you came to this world. He says, she's your guide. And his name's Robert. And I can feel him in here now because I've mentioned him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel him.
He goes, my ears are ringing. I'm gonna go in and see what you're talking about.
He's here right now. I can actually feel him, and he likes it when I talk about him. He is here right now. But ever since then, I started doing that stuff, and then I kind of went off that a wee bit, and I went to the alien stuff because it fascinated me. We're not alone in this universe. I can say that right now. I've had too many weird things that's happened to me.
Yeah.
With triangles in the sky at night in rural Scotland, over the wind turbines, just sitting there, plain as day. And then I kind of left that and went back to my spiritual roots. And that's where I am now. It has changed me. It's because I know that I'm not afraid of death.
You're more afraid?
No, I says I'm not afraid of death. I'm
okay, good. Because I'm like, what do you mean you're more afraid?
No,
what?
I'm not.
You're not afraid.
I'm not afraid. No, because I know that I'll see my family again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then probably get a choice to come back again. You never know.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So it's because I'll be sitting around, I'll see some movement somewhere, and I'll turn and nothing's there. But I grew up, my father was very he was a computer programmer, designed electronics, worked in the Air Force in the very high level security part of the Air Force. So they did surveillance on different things.
Yeah.
And so basically, I knew early on just through dad that we weren't it, right?
Yeah.
So we have these, and because he said, look at the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah.
We didn't have the technology to build that stuff, to move the stones, to do all that stuff, the precision with which it was made, where it preserves everything. He said we didn't have the technology to do that. There's no way we could have done that. He said, look at Stonehenge, and I mean all these other things, right? Area 61 or 59 or 51. I can't remember what it's called.
Area 51.
Yeah. But he's like, it's true. He said, we are not it. And I always had this feeling growing up that, like we do with laboratory mice, right?
Yes.
That we experiment with them. We go, okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? That's what's happening with us as a planet on a larger scale, right?
Yes.
Is that we come in, there's let's see what they do with this technology. Because if you look through time, we'll have these times that were just nothing
Yes.
really is happening. And then like AI right now, right? And
Yes.
there's these massive explosions of innovation and everything. And then, we kind of do stuff with it, but then it's steady for a while and then boom, another thing. And for me, it was always growing up. Oh, let's give them that. Oh, let's block
Hmm.
off this way of the maze and see what they do with that.
Hmm.
But that's what it feels like.
Yes.
And in a way, it's comforting in a way
Hmm.
to because we could really screw this up.
Oh, we
Okay.
could. Hmm.
With what we're doing in the world and poor Mother Gaia and the planet
Hmm.
and all the stuff that we're doing. And I'm hopeful because it's not just us. It is us. We need to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
And we at least have somebody that's trying to help from afar as well.
Yes. I mean, I do believe that they are trying to help, but I
Hmm.
do believe too that they do have protocols. They're not really allowed to like,
I would
interfere.
I would agree with
Kind of
you.
like Star Trek. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
we have to advance to a certain level
Yeah.
before they can actually help us. I will say this, that I do think that we're not the only inhabitants of this world. I do think there's, when you talk about Mount Shasta and things, I
Yeah.
mean, I do think that there's another, no, maybe another Earth, but I do believe that there is something deep below the Earth. I do believe that there's ancient societies. I do, like ancient races, the original inhabitants of this world. I do believe they're here, and a lot of these UFOs that you see, or a lot of USOs that you see in the sea, I do believe that's them. I believe that's who that is. I do. Most of the UFOs that you see right now are them, and
Hmm.
they're keeping a little eye on us. I do think that. I do think the governments of the world are working in conclusion
Yeah.
with aliens and stuff like that. But I don't think they'll help us truly until we fix our own problems.
But that's it. I would agree. It's almost like raising kids, right? The at some level we have to fail, but not
Yeah.
fail to where we blow the whole thing up, right? And so there's this, and there's been a lot of shifting going on,
Yeah.
increases in turmoil, increases in friction, increases in the stuff. And I think that's where with me, like I'm in executive coaching and helping
Yes.
people better navigate what's happening so they don't get caught up in what I'm going to call noise.
Yeah.
Because the noise and the narratives and all the stuff, the things that is attempting to create more fear base to people,
Yes.
um, it's not serving us. It's not moving us forward. And it's this tug of war that's happening.
Hmm.
And so one of my things is for people to not succumb to this fear that's
Yeah.
going on, to basically take their own
Oh,
power
yeah.
back and be able to view and navigate through what's happening
Yeah.
through a calm presence and in control of themselves, right? And
Yes.
not succumb to this fear-based and COVID created this
Oh, yeah.
terrible thing for people. I mean, I see people and it breaks my heart when they're
Yeah.
walking on the street with a mask on, when they're driving in their car with a
Hmm.
mask on,
Yeah.
because unless they do intentional intervention in themselves to be able to do reprogramming of their brain, that's signs of PTSD
Yes.
to where they're freaked out. And so if you have
Yeah.
people that can't relax outside or can't
Hmm.
relax in their own
I've
car,
seen it, and I
yeah,
thought to myself, I thought, wow, I've seen people and they're putting the gloves on and they're putting the mask on, but I'm like,
yes,
but there's nothing really there. And then I've actually got a friend like that, and he's actually afraid in case he catches something. When he does catch something, it's like he thinks that he's going to die. And I say to
yeah,
him, we're meant to catch like the colds and things like that because it builds our immunity, and we're meant to
yes,
have bugs and things like that because.
yes,
But then you get the people that are super washing all the time and putting masks on, and I think it must be terrible for them because they're living in fear.
yes. Yeah, and that's what breaks my heart when I see that stuff and hear that stuff and experience. So for me, it's like, how can we help people work through that? How can
Yeah.
we help people step into living their full life? Because
Yes.
we're not meant to live like that.
No.
To where there's this ripple effect that we have of good going out in the world. of assuming the best intention, right? And I don't mean naively,
Yeah.
because there are people in the world that are freaking evil. Okay,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are.
I know. Yeah.
But that being said, the best counter to that is not fear. It's being strong, being
Yes.
aware, making good decisions, understand what's going on, and not feed into that. And
Mhm.
so that's one of my things, is when I get clients in the room to help people navigate through, for leaders to not contribute to it unknowingly, right? So we can create better experiences for people.
Mhm.
And I think what you do in, readings, and, like you said, maybe you don't need to use the cards anymore, but those messages help people that are so fearful in a lot of things
It's
go, okay.
it's quite
Yeah.
you know, I want to see
Yeah.
how far I can take this, because I do feel like I'm helping people at the same time. I'm helping people. I mean, last night I answered, what is it, 46 messages on TikTok, and it was people
Oh,
saying,
wow.
"Oh, I'm having a really bad time," and I says, "You can keep going. You can keep going." Some were not well, some were financially, some were.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going. Have faith in the universe. Have faith in
Mm-hmm.
God. Have faith in whoever runs this that we're
Yeah.
in.
I'm going to say yes, and Christopher, because the and part of it is, um, focus on what you want and
Yeah,
not what you don't want.
yeah,
And I think that's the other thing too, is we could get, as humans, get stuck in this spiral of, well, I don't want any more of this, and I don't want any more of that, and I don't want to, and it's like, okay, but you literally throwing out and focusing on the thing that you don't want. As
yeah.
hard as it can be for some people, because they're like, well, I don't even believe that it's possible. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes is, thoughts become things.
Yes.
So what are you focusing on? And it's not what you don't want, it's what you do want. And even if it seems far-fetched or whatever it may be, step into it, visualize it, imagine it. And if you
Mm-hmm.
can't visualize, because some people go, I can't visualize, because they're thinking it's going to look exactly like it does when you open your eyes and look
Yeah.
outside, the green leaves on the trees and all that stuff. Feel it.
Yes. See.
Or if you can't feel it, just know it's true. Just know
Yes.
that you're focused on it.
I do believe that I was sent here for a reason. Like a lot of other like psychics out there, I do believe that we're messengers,
Mm-hmm.
and I do believe that we're here to like help people move forward. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I just want, my goal in my life right now is I just want to help people. I
Mm-hmm.
want to help make them see what I can see. It's really difficult because I've had people like, oh, I can't see what's these, what do they look like? And I'm like, I don't really know, because they come to me in like pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to give them is I'm going to try to give them hope to keep
Mm-hmm.
going. Because when
Yeah.
you give up the hope, I mean, if hope cannot die. You cannot kill hope.
Yeah.
If you've got hope, you can win. You
Mm-hmm.
can win. It might take you a long time, but you will get there in the end. And you should never give in. And that's what I want. And that's especially with Soul Sync, with me and
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina and me.
Yeah.
It's like we're building something, like a little community, like something that one day when I'm gone, hopefully I live to 100 years old. One day when I'm
Yeah.
gone,
Let's go for
someone else,
120. I'm shooting
120,
for
yeah.
120. I'm going for
Sabrina will
120.
want me for 120.
Yes.
But it's like when I'm gone and Sabrina's gone, there'll be somebody else in my place with the
Mm-hmm.
Soul Sync community looking after it. It'll be their job, and then when they're gone, it'll be somebody else. I want
Mm-hmm.
to try and build something that's going to like help people, let them
Mm-hmm.
understand that this is not the end.
Mm-hmm.
Death is not the end, and it's the
Mm-mm.
same. Even the extraterrestrials out there, they believe in the afterlife. They've got a big
Mm-hmm.
belief in the afterlife, that reincarnation, you can choose what planet to go to. And they
Mm-hmm.
say the Earth's the hardest. I can understand why that is.
It's an interesting thing, because hope is this thing that we don't, I encourage people, don't wait for evidence of
Yeah.
what's possible. And I remember with leadership when COVID hit, I was at a Sutter Health, so $13 billion healthcare organization at the
Yeah.
time. And I was a director of the process improvement team for a section of the organization. And so we supported the leaders in process improvement and messaging and all that stuff. Well, one of the CEOs over the foundation, which were the docs and the outpatient world, she gathered her team together and she said, and I had her on the podcast, she had a conversation. She goes, I mean, because stuff was changing like several times a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the early times of it. She said, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. But I have confidence that the collective does.
Yeah.
Right? The leaders that are in this room, 350 leaders that were in the room. Because the things I tell leaders is when they're wanting to be so transparent, it's like we need to be transparent with people. Yes. And you need to give them hope.
Yes.
It's a leader's job to give your team hope, right? In the darkest of whatever, in the more challenging times, whatever it may be, we have to make sure we leave people with hope. And I don't mean blowing smoke and telling them lies or anything else. But to your point is be the encourager and say, we have resilience. We are so much more than this moment that we're in right now. And the other part of it is to look back and think, when have you gone through a challenging time in your life? So that people can go, oh my God, I've been through stuff before. Yeah. Yeah, because from this moment forward, we haven't experienced this before in this dimension.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know, it's just one of those things. Know that it's going to work. And I don't have a fear of like death because death's not even on my radar, right? So it's like, and if you're focused on death during life, how much of life are you taking away from your current situation?
Yeah.
So
it's
you
I
know.
know it's like I know people out there, they're terrified. They're terrified in case they're in an accident. They're terrified. Oh, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Oh, something might happen to me. And I'm like, enjoy life. You're going to
Yes.
be okay. I do feel like thought you can bring in. See, if you think negative things, I do feel that can happen. If you think that something negative is going to happen to you, Tim, I do feel that can bring it into reality. I do feel like you should think, if you think positive things, if you think positive manifestation, massive thing, if you can manifest it, if you're the poorest person in the world and you can imagine that you're the richest man in the world, the richest woman in the world, one day you will have a lot of money. You just need to look at all the billionaires around the world, all these people that they've started with absolutely nothing. Look at Elon Musk. Look at all these multi-billionaires around there that started with hardly anything, and now look at them. They've got corporations. They've got the trillionaires. Some of them.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, but how did they get there? Because it's hope. They never give up. They
visualized it. They knew it was possible. They just kept driving. And I mean, even in the face of adversity. And when the kids were growing up, I told them, I said, when life's kind of trucking along and kind of smooth, buckle up.
Yes.
It's going to get bumpy.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's the end. It means that it's like, okay, like I was talking about before, where I feel like we're like an experiment lab and, something comes in, we do this thing, and then we learn for a while. That's life. It's like you learn for a while, things are going okay, and then they're going to get rocky for a while, and you learn more, and you build up strength and resilience.
It's quite interesting because I was watching something a couple of months ago, and it was the actor Anthony Hopkins. Everybody knows him for playing Hannibal Lecter and stuff like that. And I was watching it. He was actually doing a TikTok live. He was doing it, and people were asking him questions. He says, "What actually got you to where you are?" When he first started off as an actor, not many people know this. He had nothing. He didn't. He was lucky if he had $10 in his bank account.
Yeah.
And he went, hope. I never gave up. I never stopped imagining. Every day I woke up and says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a good actor. I'm going to make a lot of money. Look at him now. Sir Anthony Hopkins. He's one of the top actors in the world, an amazing actor, in fact. And that's what people need to do. Don't give up. It's your dream. Every day, say to yourself, get up and do it. And you will be one day, you never know who you could be in a couple of years' time.
Yeah. If that's your dream. And don't let go of it. And to your point, it's hope and it's visualization. It's stepping into it. And, and even if people look at you like you're crazy. And that's why in coaching, I encourage people when I'm talking to them, where do you imagine or want to be in 2 to 3 years? And you can see hesitancy in some people, like throw this really bodacious goal out there, target of a role or title they want. And I'm like, if you don't claim it, it's never going to happen. So what is it? Well, I want to be the VP. Okay, let's start marching toward that. What does that look like? What gaps do you need to close? What are the opportunities? Well, all the stuff, right? But if you don't say it and claim it as that's where you want to go, you're going to get sidetracked on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So what's yours? What's your goal in 2 to 3 years? Claim it, Christopher.
I want to be somewhere else. I want to build something that not just helps people but guides people in the future. And I do feel with Sabrina. Sabrina's an amazing person and what she does, because she's actually she's the one that's brought me out mostly out of where I'm and showed me my true potential. She's absolutely amazing, Sabrina. And I was saying the other night, I says, I want to see the world. I want to go and see things. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to America. There's so many places I want to go. I want to go to Mount Shasta. That's one of the places that I really want to go.
Yes.
Because that place is, I don't know, there's just something about it. I mean,
there is something about that. Yeah, there is something about that. I
want to experience life to the full.
Yeah.
I want to feel life. I want to see things from my eyes. Yeah, maybe in 100 years I'll go to the afterlife and then come back again as something else. I don't know. Maybe I'll be reborn into the community again. I don't know. I might do the exact same thing. But I want to. This is why I came here. I know this now because I've been to the Akashic Records a few times. I've been here to learn. The Earth is a big school. That's what it is. We're here to learn. So I want to do something different with my life. I want to see and experience and have fun too.
So what's the first place? What's the first place?
The first place will be the United States to see Sabrina. So that'll be the first place. So that'll be the.
You're going to go to the East Coast, and then you're going to come to the West Coast, and then I can meet you.
Yeah.
So I'm like 3.5 hours away from Mount Shasta.
Oh, there you go. That's what I want to see. I want to see that mountain. I've watched videos in that place, and I'm like, I'm drawn in. I don't know why. It's like I don't know how I can feel like something's going to happen.
I had a friend of mine, young Kim, who does energy healing, and he went to Sedona several years ago, and then went up to Mount Shasta. And when he came back from Shasta, I'd gone in because I would go in once a month for energy healing from him, and he would, charge energy into my body and stuff. When he got back from Shasta, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I'm like, the intensity of it was crazy. And his ability to do energy healing work and not having to, sleep and recharge himself. But I mean, just it was exponential. So it's cool with people that are tapped in, right? Because I'll coach leaders on stuff to where, in between meetings, right? Reset, ground yourself. And I'll ask people, because grounding means different things to different people. And some stuff, because it's not like I'm telling you, go cook a chicken sideways, right? So I'll just say, ground yourself. And they're going, okay. And I said, so when I say those words, do you have a meaning to those words? Do you have something that you would do? And not everyone does. Some people, it's like, I pray. Okay, great. Whatever that reset is for you to ground or actually ground, into the center of the earth, connect up to your soul star, whatever that may be, but reset yourself.
You have to. Yeah, you have to. Because when I do the readings, especially on TikTok or YouTube, before the live begins, I open the door. I ask my guys to open the door. But after it, I've got to close that door, because if I don't, I'll have really weird. There's been a few times when I first got into this and I didn't know really what I was doing. I forgot to close the door a few times, and I had some really weird dreams. I mean, I do dream a lot about dead people. Everybody I dream about in my life is mostly dead. And it's weird because I've had conversations with them and they'll tell me things. They'll be like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing well. We've been watching you. We've all been watching you up here. And I'm like, right. And I wake up and I can remember it. And it's so weird because I had a friend a couple of years ago. He passed away. His name was Mike. And he visits me regular. And but you have to, you have to close the door. So I closed the door and I envisioned myself as a tree. And I know this has got to sound mad for some people, but some people understand. I envisioned myself as a tree and my roots going into the ground.
Yeah.
And when my roots are going into the ground, that's me getting rid of the energy. I do have beautiful rivers round about me, like wee creeks that come off the mountains and fresh water and stuff.
Nice.
And I sit my hands in it. So that's what I was doing today. I was relaxing today at the stream.
Yeah.
And I was like grounding myself in the quartz and things like that. You have to do it because if you don't, it will take its toll on you. It'll make you not well. It will.
Yeah. Well, and even if you're not doing readings and channeling or medium or, even if you're not doing that, we're energetic beings.
Yes.
So go outside barefoot, right?
Yes.
Reconnect, close your eyes, feel what you're feeling, listen to what's going on, notice something beautiful in your surroundings, right? Yeah. And if you're telling yourself, I don't have time for that. Okay, I don't have time for that. I'm going to call BS, right? Yeah. Because it's not going to take you 5 hours. It's going to take you 3 minutes, right? If you have 5 minutes, great. If you have 10, great. If you have 2, great. 30 seconds in between stuff if you're in meetings, whatever that is, do it.
It's interesting because I've got a friend that stays in London, the capital and stuff like that, and they work in one of those big, massive tower block things. And I was telling them about the stuff that I'm into. Oh, I don't believe in that. I says, tell you what, just try it. Just try walking in the grass, barefoot, and try and get yourself a wee bit crystal and try it and tell me and do some meditation and tell me what you feel like the next day. He says, Ken, something. He says, see that night I slept great. And he says, and I went to my work and I completed there was something that he was doing. I can't remember what it was. It was a kind of law firm kind of thing. And he completed it. And he says, Ken, I didn't feel tired after it. Now he does it every single night.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I had one client, super stressed, super wound up. And I described it like the white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, and I don't sleep at night. And I'm like, okay, so we have to transition to sleep. So whether it's meditation, whatever's going on, you've got to get yourself ready for it. And so even if you visualize, I'm going to take all the stuff that happened today and I'm just going to just set it aside. Just visualize that you're just unpacking it and setting the backpack down, whatever it is, right? Set it aside. You can pick it up the next morning. Yeah. It's not going anywhere. But that intentional thing of saying, you know what, I'm ready for sleep. You don't have to meditate if you don't want to. He's like, I slept. How about that? Another client that she would wake up in the night and couldn't go back to sleep. The brain just took over. And so I looked at her and I said, so our subconscious is meant to keep us safe. Okay. It's meant to keep us safe. So if you wake up in the night and it's like spidey sense going everywhere, I said, do this. It's havening, right? Just from the top of the shoulders down the arms and tell yourself, I'm safe. I'm loved. Everything's okay. Safe. I'm loved. Everything's okay. And do that a few times until you feel calm and then go back to sleep. And she's like, oh my God, it works. Yes, it works. Don't let your brain hijack the sleep that your body needs.
Yeah.
And so these are little hacks or tips and tricks or whatever that people can do, but we have to be intentional and not just collapse and then you wake up in the middle of the night or you lay down and your brain is racing. Mine does it at times, and I'll go like, what is happening right now? Like seriously.
I do a lot of meditation now. A lot of meditation.
Yeah.
And it does help. I mean, I listen to a lot of like meditation videos with Sabrina, she makes them, and she does that hypnotherapy, and it's really, really good. It's surprising how good it is. It makes you so relaxed, and you wake up feeling like vitalized after it. And it must be intense. It must be intense for these people that are working in offices all the time. A lot of people think, oh, it must be an easy job being stuck inside and heating it. No, because it's like, I do have a lot of friends that work in the business sector in London and stuff like that, and it's hectic. It's hectic. And they're coming home, and then they're having something to eat, and then they're sitting, they open their laptop again or their iPad, and they're doing their work again. And they're lucky if they've got to get 6 hours, 7 hours sleep before they have to do that again. That takes its toll. It takes its toll.
You're using the resource in your body that takes the most amount of energy to your brain, and you're navigating all the different vibes and energy vibes and crap that other people have. And that's why it's like we have 0% control over the outside world. We have 100% control over how we respond to it. Yes. And so it is those tips and tricks that we're managing and navigating through that all of a sudden it's almost like you've got this force field up and you're like, people go, what do you think about that? And I'm like, okay. I mean, my idea that most of the time now when I think is, well, that's an interesting choice. Don't know that I would have made that one, but I'm not ragingly pissed about it because I'm looking at my sphere of influence and span of control. And then I'm going to ask, what adjustments do I need to make based on what's happening? Does it even affect me? It may or may not. But I'm not going to go and get so pissed off and worked up over something I'm not in that arena.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I've so enjoyed chatting with you, and this could go on to where it's a couple hour podcast, which would not be okay for you.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, and Christopher, I so appreciate you have an open invitation to come back whenever you feel like it. I would love to chat with you again. And I'm curious what 1 or 2 things you want people to walk away with, but this other question, and it could be selfishly, if there's any feeling that you have or message for the people who are listening that would be cool for them to walk away with. So it's you, sir. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know sometimes in your life can seem hectic and you feel like you're maybe stuck in an office block. You're maybe stuck in whatever your job is, police officer or whatever it is. Never give up in any dreams that you do have. And it's something that I really need you to do. I need you to believe in yourself. And I can tell you this right now, there's so much more out there. I mean, not just with the afterlife, but with what's beyond the stars. Never, ever give up in your dreams. And that's the big one for me, is never give up in your dreams. If you're stuck in an office block and maybe one day you would, I would like to go to Alaska and I'd like to build a nice log cabin and have a small hold or something, do it. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you. Do it. If you want to go to Antarctica, I know that's a bad thing. I know people that go there sometimes on holidays, but go and do it. Experience life. See the world. Look, you're only here for a short time. It's like that quote, you are only here for a short time. Enjoy life. Experience life. See the beauty of the planet, because the planet is beautiful. There's some places in this world that I want to see that's in America. There's places in America that's Scotland too. There's places here, the mountains, the castles, the lakes, Loch Ness. You might see a Loch Ness monster.
Oh, the monster.
Yeah, you might see the monster. It might come up. Come and enjoy life. And I do think that's my main purpose in life. I'm going to enjoy life now, but I'm also going to try and help people in this world, because I do feel like there's people that's oppressed. They can't. They're stuck. They are stuck. And I do feel people that have lost people too, and they're like, I'll never see my mum, I'll never see my dad again. You will see them again. But your mum and your dad, your brother, your sister, or whoever it was, they want you to have a good life. They want you to experience life. And I do feel there's people out there too that are like, I'm guilty for this and I'm guilty for that. Don't be guilty. Don't let the system make you feel guilty. Live your life, and I can promise you will see your family again. And for the people that don't have families, you will see your loved ones again that you don't know you have, because you do have them. Everybody's got spirit guides. Everybody's got spirit. Even if there's somebody watching this in an office block right now in New York City, when you're watching this, sitting there, and you're all alone, you've got no friends or whatever, you have spirit guides that love you and care for you. Acknowledge them, because they'll be round about you as you're listening to this.
Yeah. The other thing that I'll say, and you hit on it, is around the guilt thing. if there's some narrative that choices that you made, that the path that you did up to this point in your life wasn't the best, so
Yeah.
nothing you'd want splashed on the front page of the paper, that was then.
Yes.
This is
Let it
now.
go.
And so I encourage people that, maybe it's all about choices. We've made choices to get whatever we have at whatever point in life. Today is a choice. Tomorrow is a choice. So if you have regrets, okay, about anything that you did or didn't do in the past, just do it different.
Yes.
Just from this moment forward, do it different. The thing that I'll say is, along with what you're saying, Christopher, is it's never too late. It's never too late.
You could be in your 80s and still enjoy life.
Yeah.
You could do what you want. It's like the film The Bucket List, when they go skydiving, and Sabrina keeps trying to get me to go skydiving.
I'm not going to do skydiving. I'm not doing that. Like my father said, he says, you can't get me to fly out of a perfectly good airplane. I'm not doing that.
That's exactly what I said to Sabrina. You can't get me to jump out. But it's like, you have to enjoy life, and don't feel guilty for things like, oh, I wished I'd done it different that in the past. It's gone now. You can't get it back. You've not got a time machine. Just live your life for today. Enjoy your life and move forward, and don't give up. Because one day you might be working in the what you call it, the parcel department right now, but in a couple of years you could be an executive, and then a couple of years after that you could be a CEO.
Yeah.
You see what I'm going here? If you just
be
stick
grateful for what you have, and not focused on what you don't.
Yes.
Be grateful for what you have, because gratitude is a lot too. Yeah. It's interesting. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
You're
this.
very welcome. Thank you very much.
This has been Leadership Soundbites. Please like, share, subscribe, share it, reach out, comment, all the stuff. Until